English idioms can add depth and nuance to spoken English, making your speech or writing more colourful, expressive, and engaging. Here are 10 idioms that are mostly used by C1 level English speakers. My name is Sara, and you are watching Let's Talk, your favourite channel for learning English on YouTube. Let's get started. Here's the first one, a drop in the bucket. Now, if you take a tiny, tiny drop of water and put it into the bucket, it's such a tiny amount that it doesn't really change anything. It means a very small part of something much bigger. In everyday life, we use this phrase when we want to show that a small action or amount isn't enough to solve a big problem or make a big change. Let's take a look at some example sentences. His effort to save energy by turning off lights was a drop in the bucket in terms of reducing the electricity bill. The initial investment was a drop in the bucket compared to the returns he got on his investments when the company was sold. The government's funding for education is a drop in the bucket when considering the overall needs of the system. In short, it means a small action or amount isn't enough to solve a big problem or make a big change. Before we go to the next idiom, here's something important. If you want to become fluent in English and take your English to the advanced C1 level, you must consider joining our online English courses. There are multiple English courses to improve your English fluency step by step. You can learn anytime, anywhere, and on any of your devices. These courses are carefully designed after understanding the challenges faced by non-native English speakers. The link to this course is mentioned in the description or read the first comment of this video. Check out sample videos to see how these courses can help you improve your English. Coming back to our lesson, the next idiom on my list is walking on eggshells. Imagine you're in a room with the floor covered in eggshells. Now, when you walk on regular ground, you can step normally, and it's not a big deal. But if you were walking on those fragile eggshells, you'd have to be super careful with every step, right? You'd have to tiptoe and make sure you don't break any of them. This idiom is used when we want to describe a situation where we have to be extra careful because things are a bit sensitive. Here are some examples. After their argument, they were walking on eggshells around each other to avoid further conflict, which means they did not want to complicate things further. When discussing sensitive topics with her, you have to walk on eggshells. In a tense work environment, employees often feel like they are walking on eggshells to avoid displeasing their boss. I hope you got it. How to use this idiom in your everyday conversations. Let's move on to the next one. Burning bridges. What do you think? Does this idiom mean? It's like when you have a bridge that helps you cross a river, but if you burn it down, you can't use it again. It means it is impossible to go back to the way things were before. It's like a warning that being too hasty or unkind with your actions can have a long-term effect on your relationship with someone. Take a look at some example sentences to understand it better. By shouting at his employees during the meeting, he was effectively burning bridges with them. She regretted burning bridges with her childhood friend over a silly argument. Quitting your job without notice can lead to burning bridges with your former employer. I hope you got its meaning. Up next, I have a penny for your thoughts. Quite an interesting idiom, isn't it? It's a friendly way of asking someone what they are thinking or feeling. It's like saying, "I'm curious to know, what's going on in your mind? Can you share your thoughts or feelings with me?" I hope you got its meaning. Now let's look at some example sentences to understand it better. She looked lost in thought, so I asked her, "A penny for your thoughts? You've been quiet for a while. A penny for your thoughts?" The teacher noticed the puzzled look on the student's face and asked, "A penny for your thoughts? Is there something you'd like to share?" In short, it's a nice way of asking someone, is something bothering them? Here's another interesting idiom, to read between the lines. If someone says, "I'm fine," but looks sad, you might read between the lines and realize that they might not be fine at all. They may be trying to hide their true feelings. It means to find a deeper or hidden meaning in something, even though it may not be directly mentioned. It's like looking at hints between the words and sentences to figure out what the person really means or what someone trying to say indirectly. Let's see how we can use it in conversations. Her smile was forced, and I could read between the lines that something was bothering her. The manager's email was polite, but I could read between the lines that he was not happy with the project's progress. When he said he was fine, I knew to read between the lines and ask what was really bothering him. Isn't it an interesting idiom? Why don't you try making a sentence in the comment using this idiom? I would love to read your comments. Up next, to have a chip on one's shoulder. If someone always gets angry when people make fun of their hairstyle, it's as if they have a chip on their shoulder about it. They're sensitive and defensive about that. It means that someone is carrying a grudge or is easily offended or angry about something. It's like having an imaginary chip on their shoulder. In short, it means to get offended by something or be defensive about it. Shall we look at some examples? He always seemed to have a chip on his shoulder, ready to argue with anyone who disagreed with him. Ever since he lost the promotion, he's had a chip on his shoulder and has been difficult to work with. It's hard to have a productive conversation with Ria, who constantly has a chip on her shoulder. All right, let's move on to the next idiom on the list, which is, "A picture is worth 1,000 words." Wow, isn't it a great idiom? Take a look at this picture and read the caption. A good book can change your life. I am sure the picture speaks by itself. No extra explanation is required. Reading books can certainly change the way you think, right? This idiom means an image can convey a message more effectively and powerfully than large amount of text or words. Here are some examples. Instead of describing the damage, he showed a photo of the car accident, demonstrating that a picture is worth 1,000 words. When giving a presentation, it's often more effective to include visual aids because, as the saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Rather than explaining the beauty of the sunset, he simply showed the picture he had taken, recognizing that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Moving on to the last idiom of this lesson, to have a skeleton in the closet. Quite a strange one. A skeleton in the closet. It means having a hidden or embarrassing secret or past that one doesn't want others to know about. It's like hiding an event from the past because you don't want other people to know about it. It's example time. Even though he seemed like a trustworthy politician, it was later revealed that he had a skeleton in the closet, a history of corruption scandals. The celebrity's carefully crafted public image was shattered when a journalist uncovered the skeletons in their closet. She was afraid that if she revealed her skeletons in the closet, it would damage her reputation and relationships. That's all for today. I hope you found these idioms quite interesting and will use them in your conversations. Try making sentences with them so that you can remember these idioms. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so that you receive notifications to all my future lessons. I will see you soon. Until then, keep learning, keep practicing English. Bye and happy learning.